Alright, ladies and gentlemen, the countdown has begun to game number 2 here between Grubby and StarEagle. And StarEagle, perhaps unexpectedly, according to a lot of the crowd we have in chat here, taking down Grubby in game number 1. Will he be able to do it twice in a row and eliminate the fan favorite here from the tournament? We'll find out in just a moment as we load up on Daybreak. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, nerdlings of all ages, is this the last legs for our Protoss hero here in the World Championship Series European Continental Finals? We have spawning in the bottom left position as the green Protoss on Daybreak. Let's give it up for an encouraging cheer in Grubby's direction. His opponent will be the red Italian Stallion. In the top right corner of the map, a well-executed Marine all-in on Entomb Valley. Can he do something similar this time and sweep the series 2-0? It is StarEagle. So both of these guys are in the lower bracket at the moment. Of course, whoever loses this game does not get another chance. This series does dictate who moves on and who gets knocked out of the tournament entirely. All series are best of 3s in case you are just tuning in, including the grand finals, where, though, the lower bracket player has to win 2 best of 3s against the upper bracket player in order to win the tournament outright. A lot of notable players have already been knocked out, including Thorzane, who we saw lose to Lowerly earlier on. That was an interesting turn of events there, and unfortunately, he will no longer be with us in the World Championship Series. But right now, we have 2 pretty impressive players here in Grubby and StarEagle who are looking to duke it out for an opportunity to get to the lower bracket round 4. StarEagle doing a fairly typical thing, starting up with that barracks, noting that he's not actually getting any gas, so this one barracks expand seems to suit him quite well indeed, and he transitioned very well into that all-in game number 1 as well. So let's see if anything can be done about that in game 2. Grubby going to want to be extra diligent regarding his scouting. The gateway about to complete. Gas, of course, already mining for Grubby, and the cybernetics core getting placed behind the mineral line here. So not too much out of the ordinary here as far as everything is concerned so far. Grubby just trying to be slightly annoying with the probe. The first Marine is going to pop up. We have got an orbital command on the way, and the command center is about to get placed down at the natural, that hologram indicating that, boom, it's very quickly going to become a construction site. We have got a probe trying to do a decent amount of damage to the SCV, and oh, StarEagle almost losing one there, but great micro from both players, and Grubby is going to have to fall back out of the clutches of said Marine. In the meantime, what else have we got going down here? Grubby just grabbing another pylon, getting ready to decide what kind of tech he wants to go, if any. He has only got 1 gas so far, so he's not going ultra quick Colossus timing or something like that. It's entirely possible that off of this 1 gate he could be expanding himself, but he did get that gas a little bit early on, so he may want to grab a little bit of tech before attempting to take his natural. We'll have to wait and see. In the meantime, we have got 2 barracks popping down now for StarEagle, so the second one going down, and he has taken both of his gases. This is critical because he did not take them last game. He went full on Marines, built up to 7 barracks, and managed to all-in Grubby. In this particular game, he's doing something very different indeed. Going to be taking both of his gases, and Grubby, of course, does not know anything about it at the moment. All he knows is that the same opening was utilized, and it's entirely possible the same thing could be happening again, but Grubby has no way to tell at the moment. As Grubby, he's going to be taking his own natural expansion off of the 1 gateway. So it looks like he delayed his expansion just a little bit since he got the gas, so it wasn't a gasless expand or anything like that. Wanted to grab that warp gate up, but continued mining from the assimilator. Sometimes you see Protosses go for basically getting enough for warp gate and then immediately mining minerals again so that they can get their nexus very quickly. That has not happened in this particular case, and StarEagle's actually hunkering up at the moment. He's getting 2 bunkers, happy to just sit back, relax, and try not to fall victim to any sort of early game cheese that Grubby might be doing, but he in fact is going to be going into something very, very standard indeed. We have got the 3 gateways and the robotics facility on the way for our Protoss. In the meantime, I love this. By the way, guys, if you play Protoss and you're in the chat, you should always be doing this. Look at how Grubby is diligently scouting with all of his units around his half of the map, wanting to make sure that StarEagle does not have a proxy of any description. Really, really nice stuff coming out there from Grubby. And of course, even against Protoss, you want to be looking out for those forward pylons against Terran. You want to be looking out for proxies against Zerg, maybe hidden bases, or potential paths the armies are going to come by and stuff like that. Just really nice stuff coming out from Grubby. And I wonder if StarEagle thought, because Grubby is particularly famous at his end game play, I wonder if StarEagle is thinking, well, it's probably best if I attempt to finish Grubby off in the early game so that I don't have to deal with his late game play, because Grubby is fairly well known for having quite a solid late game. And we do already have a robotics bay and a forge coming up from Grubby, so this potentially is a 2-base Colossus timing coming out of him, maybe with a +1 or even a +2 as well if he decides to go extended thermal lance with it. We'll have to wait and see. In the meantime, though, we have got the starport and the reactor factory popping down, which means he should be getting a decent number of medevacs up on the field in just a moment. Stim is about 2/3 of the way done for StarEagle as well, and he's already on the way with +1 in his engineering bay. Most notably, though, he's just started his 3rd command center. So that's pretty bold there, really, from StarEagle. Grubby sees this and goes, well, hang on a second. You're being relatively greedy with this build here. And what must be running through the mind of Grubby at the moment? +1 and the first Colossus has both started production right now. He might be looking to try and nip StarEagle in the bud, so to speak. He has got a reactor starport, so he can get those Vikings fairly quickly, but right now they're just being used for medevacs. So I wonder if Grubby's just going to be going for an absolutely insanely huge Colossus timing. Now, the one thing I have to note, unlike the PvP series we've seen earlier, there we go, there's extended thermal lance, I do not believe Grubby will push with the first Colossus. And the reason for this is simple. In a PvP, in a PvP, if your opponent has Blink, you don't push with one Colossus. Because if they went fast Twilight Council, they can Blink in, kill the Colossus, and Blink out. Similarly, in a PvT, if Grubby moves in with one Colossus, he needs to be careful that StarEagle can't just stim, kill the Colossus, and get out. Because if the Colossus is the backbone of his army, and he moves out only with one of them, then that puts a huge risk on the engagement. And that's why we see Grubby here standing around with his Colossus, waiting for his friends to pop along and waiting for extended thermal lance before deciding to move out against StarEagle. I don't believe that one Colossus push is particularly effective against a Terran with Stim. It's just, it can work, it's just super dicey. So let's wait and see what he ends up doing with that. StarEagle, in the meantime, is going for a lot of barracks. A couple more reactors getting put down here, and 3 tech labs, too. So he can simultaneously be making combat shields and concussive shell, should he wish. He's not actually doing that at the moment. He probably should against Protoss, as Grubby now moves out across the map with the first and the second Colossus a little bit further behind. He needs to be careful they don't get separated too much, because StarEagle might be able to take that out, and he's going towards his 3rd base now. StarEagle is going to try and save this orbital command, but actually a lot of DPS is being done to it at the moment. I'm not sure he's going to be able to save it. Let's find out. Oh, only just. I think he should just about save it. If he can get a couple of SCVs here to start repairing immediately, he should be able to save that orbital command. In the meantime, though, we have a factory landing right next to the 3rd nexus of Grubby, so that's StarEagle saying, hey mate, I know you're here, as Grubby pushes forward with 2 Colossi against the bunkers. There are a decent number of Marines and Marauders here. They do have +1, but so does Grubby. And what is StarEagle going to be able to do? He's actually just using SCVs to repair the bunker at the moment, because Grubby is just comfortably biding his time, just waiting for a good opportunity to snipe off that bunker. And if that bunker is not there, that gives Grubby a lot more flexibility to move into the natural expansion whenever the heck he wants. Grubby now going to be moving back, and StarEagle looking like, is this going to be a counterattack from StarEagle? It looks like it, but Grubby has an observer there, knows that StarEagle is moving back, and perhaps is going to try and intercept him or try and save his 3rd base. The 3rd orbital command is back here. It is no longer burning, so things are looking all right for StarEagle. He needs to move the 3rd base back to that location. And yes, Grubby is moving back across the map to try and defend this 3rd, which looks to be partially obscured here by the factory. Someone talk about living in harmony. I don't think that's going to happen for much longer, because StarEagle has an awful lot of units popping in right now. Is he going to do any amount of damage? No, because Grubby just about catches up with him, and StarEagle lifting up into those medevacs. He's going to be getting the hell out of dodge. Wants to make sure that Grubby cannot get any damage done. The current supply counts, by the way, are 132 to Grubby, 128 to StarEagle, and the worker supply is 59 to 53. This is really tense stuff because Grubby is actually keeping StarEagle holed up on Grubby's half of the map right now, and he needs to be very, very careful about that. StarEagle also has just started Viking production as well, which is going to be really good news against those Colossi, and more bio is on its way. However, Grubby, as far as tech is concerned, has got another Forge incoming. He's also got a Templar Archives, which is not in his main base because I'm scrolling around and I can't see it. Is it at his third? No, it probably is in his main base, and I just... There we go. It's right in front of me because I completely missed it. But, more importantly, Storm is 2/3 of the way done at the moment, and Grubby is actually researching 2-2. So that's going to be very useful there. Finally deciding to get rid of that factory. And, I suspect that factory is going to at least go down to burning, if not die outright there. But that's not something we entirely unexpected. But what was unexpected was this huge drop into the main base from StarEagle. Grubby going to have to move as many units as he can back to try and stop these units. Excellent Storm picking off a lot of those Marines. Is that going to be enough to save the Nexus? It's so close. 4 HP. 4 HP Nexus, ladies and gentlemen, and it is saved. Holy crap, StarEagle could come in flying with his Viking and actually land it and destroy the Nexus right now. But it looks like he lost more or less everything, simultaneously attacking and destroying the Nexus at the third base. But he's having to run away with no medevac support. Look at this. Look at the health of his bio composition at the moment. This is absolutely insane. And Grubby saving the Nexus at his main, but not at his third base. I think StarEagle is not going to be very happy about that at all. A couple of photon cannons getting put up now as well to try and defend against those sort of drops later on. The third base is up and mining again for StarEagle, but now Grubby looking like he's going to be mounting a counter-attack. And it looks like Grubby opting to go... Well, he does have the Observer still here, so he knows that the army from StarEagle is on top of the ramp. What is he going to do with that information? He's still long-distance mining from the third base. He hasn't put down another Nexus yet, presumably because... Oh my god, here we go! The High Templar in front. Are we going to see some decent storms? Good splits from StarEagle, and he has quite a good concave there. In fact, Grubby is going to be forced to pull back. Needs to be very, very careful with this engagement. He is down 132 supply to 166 at the moment, but it looks like he is poised to do a little bit of damage over here at the third base. Archon's being morphed in now, so not bothering with those storms. He's going to go straight in for the high DPS attack, and StarEagle recognizes this, moves away the orbital command instantly as Grubby retakes, by the way, his third base location. Alright, so a nice drop from StarEagle. Ooh, there goes the orbital command. The hairdryer falls into the abyss, so we won't get to zoom in on that this game, unfortunately. And StarEagle pulling a lot of SCVs as well. He knows that this could potentially be an absolutely huge push from Grubby. And the Ghost here as well, trying to EMP the army of Grubby as he pops up. But the Stalker at the Watchtower sees that a Ghost is leading the army there. So he's going to be very, very careful indeed as StarEagle moves across the map with all of his SCVs. This is a pretty serious blob here. Does Grubby have enough force fields to match this? The Archons with their splash damage are going to be very useful here. Actually getting an SCV surround on the Colossi. Could this be enough from StarEagle? He's pushing Grubby into StarEagle's former third base location, and Grubby looks like he absolutely has to engage here. The Colossi in the back doing oh so much damage, and the Vikings not able to take them out quickly enough. But does he have enough forces on the ground to hold off? Excellent Storm just rubbing off the army of StarEagle here, and I think those Storms might have done it. I think Grubby is going to be able to pump through here. StarEagle is down to 54 supply, and Grubby still has a Colossus alive. Oh, I spoke too soon. It actually just died. But he still has an army to speak of, and those medevacs look like to be forfeit as well. 86 to 43 supply up, and Grubby is now 3 base versus 2 base and approximately double the supply. He can move in with gateway units right now if he wanted to and try and do a tremendous amount of damage to StarEagle because of the number of SCVs that were pulled with that attack. Number of workers killed 57 to 17. Number of workers remaining 52 to 14. Grubby can just go home, sit back and relax and wait for the all-in from StarEagle. Great play from Grubby. Alright, and here we go. It looks like the final engagement, and jeez, did anyone else see those storms? And as soon as the first storm went down, GG, well played. Grubby, ladies and gentlemen, takes game number 2 against StarEagle, and he is back in it, very much back in it. He is 1-0 now, his tournament life still hanging by a thread, but he's also within 1 game of advancing now as well. We're going to get into game number 3 of this absolutely terrific TVP straight after this break. Don't